Hi, it's Dan here from Flexxable, and today I'm going to tell you about 3 terrible mistakes I've made in my entrepreneurial journey. Let's dive in and get started. I thought a little bit about doing a video like this because it does show a side of, me that is probably a little bit embarrassing at times because of the mistakes I've made. But then it kind of dawned on me that these mistakes is kind of what I've learned from, okay? And without experiencing the pain, it wouldn't have forced me to kind of be resilient, pick up the pieces, try again and learn from my mistakes. So the first, bit of advice I would give is don't beat yourself up if you've made bad mistakes, because I definitely have. And it's just part of the journey, okay? Most of the things that I've used or built or whatever, I've always come back to open a new door, or it's an asset that I can use for something else. I think the key thing is to strive forward, continuing to strive forward, okay, and show some resilience, and also admit when you're wrong, okay, and take stock from that. So all 3 of these mistakes I've made were all based on my attitude for myself, my ego, I guess. It's very hard for people to get over their ego and be humble, because it's kind of like, my daughter. She's this very strong-willed 11-year-old, and you just cannot tell her if she's doing something wrong, okay? She has to experience it for herself. For example, she sliced a finger open while cutting an apple a little while back, and we said, don't use a sharp knife to cut it. She ignored us and she did it anyway, and she's learnt from it. Sometimes, if you put myself in the position of my daughter and actually listen to what people are saying, then it really helps, because if we try and do everything off our own will and make our own decisions and not run it past people that are trusted advisors, then things will, quite often go wrong. Okay, that's why there's such a thing as masterminds and groups, which brings me on to my recommendation, is that we've got a free group for lead gens called the Pay Per Lead Ninjas. And it's a really good place to kind of bounce ideas off people, ask questions, get feedback from people that have been there and done that, okay? This is important. Don't think that you know everything. Things move fast, and there's very likely people in that community that will be able to help you, okay? There'll be a link below in the description box. Click it and join us. I'd love for you to be there. So the first mistake I made was way back when I got started, and that is to go into a partnership with someone that, probably wasn't a really bad guy. But I was young and naive, and I didn't know what I was doing. And at the time, I didn't have the money to spend on a partnership agreement, all right? The inevitable happened, okay? I was doing the back-end work. He was doing the selling, which is probably the wrong way around in hindsight. I think what happened is that he was working a job and I wasn't, and he was squeezing stuff in, and I became resentful that I was doing more work. I fell out with him about this. Then he actually, unfortunately, stole our clients and did a JV with another agency, okay, without me even knowing. And, this hurt at the time a lot. I think I ended up getting a payout from him, which worked out to be okay, but it caused a lot of pain, and it was just a shambles, really, of a business, and it was just done the wrong way. And it was when I was probably in my maybe late 20s. Okay, I got started in this game when I was quite old, and it was just a complete disaster. So my tip here is if you're going to go into partnership with someone, you need to firstly ask yourself if they are the type of person, like truly, deeply ask yourself, without being jaded by greed or desperation or, whatever, are they really someone you want to work with, okay? And if the answer is yes, your gut will know this. If it's yes, then you want to really make sure that you get a partnership agreement in place. And if you can't afford it, then you're not ready to go into business with this person, okay? That's just the blunt truth. If you can't afford a partnership agreement, then stay by yourself, okay, until you get a bit of cash flow, and then reach out to someone else. So that was my first mistake, probably going into the business with the wrong person and not having a partnership agreement, which protected both of us with exactly what we needed to do and what each person's role was. So if, problems occurred, we're able to refer back to that. It's a really good tip, okay? The second mistake that I made throughout my lead gen journey, okay, so up until probably about 2 years ago, I didn't understand the power of helping clients with the next challenge that I experienced from the first thing that they buy from us. I was so focused on generating leads for people, I was blind to the fact that they were struggling with other things. Okay, that could have been contact rate. It could have been that they needed help positioning their next offer. It could be that I could help them with their CRM. That's where they need help. All right. That's an example of things that I was blind to because I was so caught up with my own ideas about my leads were the best and they needed to convert at all costs. And I was blind to the fact that the clients, were probably even blind themselves, that they needed help with other stuff rather than trying to convert cold traffic all the time. Paid ads and cost CPMs and all that type of stuff go up over time, right? They always are going up. So be aware of that and keep your eyes open when it comes to positioning yourself to help your clients, the people you've got business relationships with, the next challenge that they have. All right, that's changed everything for me. Another big mistake I've made is not understanding what we can do with the viral nature of lead generation. What I've figured out over the last kind of 18 months or so is if I ethically bribe people to share something that's of use to them, they feel good about it and they'll share it with their friends. Okay, so I've done this a few times with bear with me if you haven't got a Facebook group, I'll come around to that, right? But they were able to share my group in exchange for something of value that I was going to give them. And what happened is that when they started sharing my group with their friends, with their marketing buddies, things absolutely went bananas because referral-based traffic is the best type of traffic you can get. We saw our sales jump through the roof. We saw people come in, buy our stuff that we hadn't sold in ages. They were just finding stuff. We were making sales. Our engagement went up. Our ads started performing better. Just everything went better, okay? So if you're running a lead gen offer and you're helping someone with, let's say life insurance, and you generate a lead for your client, what could you bribe that lead to do that would get them to share that your offer with some of their friends? Okay, so let's say they're opted in for a life insurance offer. I'm not sure how you would position it, right? But there could be something that you can't bribe people with kind of Amazon vouchers or anything to share with their friends, but there'll be something out there that they really need, okay, that they really value, that you can give them if they share with 3 of their friends or whatever that looks like. And that's, there's plenty of tools out there that can do that for you, okay? So, back in the day, I was generating a lot of leads in the debt consolidation industry, right? And we had a thank you page, and we just had a thank you page that was introducing the client, okay? We were missing a big opportunity there to be able to generate more leads off the leads that we'd already generated, okay, and create this kind of viral loop to what we were doing. And these would be really good quality leads if we got a good referral from it. So I hope that kind of makes sense. They're 3 pretty big mistakes that I've made, but you know what? I kept bouncing back and kept trying new stuff. And I guess that's why, I was able to do that, because I had good people around me, good support from mentors and people that can help. And also, like Facebook groups and things where I could ask advice. And I guess that's why I put together my free group, the Pay Per Lead Ninjas. It's a really good group to ask advice on stuff like this, because there's people that have been there and done that. There's a link below in the comments you can join. Come and say hello, introduce yourself. I'd love to see you there. All right, so if you've enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. Comments or questions about your own experiences and mistakes that you've made, I'd love to hear them below. And finally, please subscribe to our channel so you'll be first to know when there's a new video out. I'll speak to you soon.